You're watching Fitment Industries TV
at SEMA 2018
at the MV Forged booth.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries. We're at SEMA 2018 and we're actually at the MV Forged booth. We're going to take a look at what they're up to, who they are, because you probably haven't heard of MV Forged too much lately, and what their plans are for 2019. Let's just go check out the wheels. So the biggest thing with MV Forged is a company that specializes more in the high-end, the luxury, the VIP, the high sport style wheels. They're forged multi-piece. We'll get into that. Those are killer. But most importantly, you're gonna see a lot of people start going into like the flow form, rotary forged wheel lineup, and that is what they're starting out with. This is their Forged Plus line is what they're calling it. And what it is it's essentially a lot like your flow form. Now, if you guys didn't know, flow form, rotary forged, those are technical terms that have been trademarked, so everybody calls it a little bit different. But what the biggest thing is that you have to remember with rotary forged is that there's some marketing ploy to it. So not everybody will actually fully rotary forge out the barrel. Sometimes it's to save cost or to save weight, what have you. But with this Forged Plus, they actually do go through the full wheel to actually align the grain structure. It's a lot of boring science. That they align the grain structure within the wheel, makes it lighter, and makes it a little bit better for you, especially with those wider setups. So MV Forged is starting out these ones. Now there's a couple different models, and I'm going to try and remember them all, even though there's no way I'm gonna remember them all. This is the MF20. This is probably one of my favorites. You're gonna notice that with their Forged Plus series that you're gonna be able to get it in pretty much any size offset, any finish, any bolt pattern that you could possibly want. More than likely 5x120 and under, just because the 5x130 folks, the Porsche guys, we're just a massive pain, so nobody wants to make wheels for them. It's fine. This is a really nice wheel. I like the sharpness to it, plus since it's full form, you're actually looking at a very good, the weight of it is gonna be extremely light, and I like the depth to it. The mix of the concave, but having the infinity spoke is a super nice touch. If you go over here, you have the MF15. Now, with the 15, this gets a little bit softer, but you are gonna notice some interesting things. You have the cut in for the spokes, you have the depth here, you have a lot of just texture to it. This is a new, like, very popular color and style. I really enjoy it. What I really enjoy the most though is obviously the center caps. So the center caps are really cool. I enjoy that. Everything's in the center cap for me. I think if you have a cheap center cap, it looks weird. MF10 is gonna be your iconic like double 5-spoke. It's a sharp milled. We have like this thing in the way. I'm just gonna, don't tell him I moved that. That's a double 5-spoke. I really enjoy this. You're gonna see this in a lot of different offsets and sizes, which is very cool. And then finally, you have the MF5 down here, which is like a sharper double 5-spoke. I appreciate this one a little bit more because the concave push out going into the flat spoke is really nice. Obviously, my favorite though is definitely gonna be the one over here. The flow form is essentially where you're gonna see a lot of wheel companies go to. People want more customizing. People wanna have like offsets that are a little bit more unique, but with a lot of companies, they make it really difficult to get that. And then the lead time, or how long it takes for you to get the wheels, is actually pretty long. So MV Forged is stocking a lot of these, and then they'll drill everything the moment that the order gets put through. So the lead time on it is actually relatively pretty short. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually really cool. So now that we checked out these ones, let's go check out the fancy ones with all the hardware. So starting off, we have the AV15. It's a forged multi-piece wheel. We're gonna go into just some of the styles and things like that. This is more like a softer double 5-spoke. You're gonna see that typical double 5-spoke style here. But one thing that I really enjoy about it is that they do a lot of detail with the brushing and then how they do their color palettes. So their colorways are actually really cool. I enjoy them a lot. This sort of brushed titanium with the gloss sort of finish I really enjoy. Scooting over, you have the SV5. So the SV5 is a little bit different. So it has some sharp angles, but the spokes are actually a little bit wider. It gives it more of a blockier feel. In terms of what I would see this on, it's a little bit tough. You could see it, I'd see it like on a 430 or something like that. I probably enjoy this on, but again, the colorway I really, really enjoy. The MV Forged, the SV5, all of these are gonna come in with whatever style, whatever color you want. And actually, I'll show you a couple of the colors if you want. You're gonna see that they offer, obviously, whatever color you like. Shout out to the copper, rose gold, my favorite. And then obviously they have hardware examples as well, which is pretty neat. They also do titanium hardware. So if you guys didn't know, hardware is actually very, very heavy, especially when you multiply that by 4 and you put 39 of them in each wheel, it can get very, very heavy. So they'll do titanium hardware, it's an upgrade for you. And what that does, it'll save up to like 13 pounds overall, which when you consider it, multi-piece wheels are already pretty expensive and they're pretty heavy. So if you can shave some weight, it's actually pretty ideal. ML20 flash just went out there. Definitely enjoy the polished lip with the two-tone that they're doing on the face. Very, very cool. It's definitely a thinner spoke. I'd enjoy seeing this on like a Lexus and F-Sport, something like that. It's just a very clean wheel, and you can actually go in and you can see how the two-tone for the color kind of fades away at the end of the spoke. In my eyes, I would usually assume that the two-tone can look a little cheap. It actually looks really good, so they fade it very, very well. AV17's probably the busiest, probably the craziest, I would say. I enjoy this a lot. It'd be really cool to see this on like a Lamborghini, an Aventador, or Huracan. I think the green in the back pops super well, but it's definitely more of like an industrial color, and it's more of a busier design, but it doesn't really look like a whole lot of what we've seen before. And I think that's why I like this one the most out of all of them. The AV17 is super sharp. I like the ML20, but I'll never own a car ever that has that. It's just not that guy. VL10, final one, going back to the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, double 10 spoke. Pretty cool, not too sharp, not too bad. The flat gray is actually very interesting with the black. Definitely more of like a functional style colorway. Really enjoy it. Favorite one, AV17. Come on. Finally, you can kind of go in to see what they're up to. So a lot of like what wheel companies are doing is they're doing pocketed spokes. Pocketed spokes is when they cut out the spokes. They have to get it FEA tested. They have to get it, make sure that it actually is functional. Most people right now are doing it for looks, right? So it's not really a functional thing. Well, they've decided that they are gonna do it as well, but they're actually going into the function of it as well. So I'm going to flip this over and not drop it, because that would be really unfortunate. But you can actually see that they're pulling out metal here, and they're actually going through and creating what they would be like a skeleton spoke all throughout each of the spokes. And then you're also going to see that they're cutting into the actual lip of the face. And what this allows them to do is very similar to what HRE does, a lot of those high-end wheels. And then you can actually zoom in and you can see that there's cuts on the outside of the face as well. When you pair this up to two different colors, you'll actually be able to see the barrel through these indentations, through these cuts. Saves weight, but then at the same time, it's actually functional as well. It gives it a really mean look, and it's something that I actually really enjoy. I think it's gonna be probably one of my favorite things. MV4s are also doing truck wheels, but if you wanna learn more about truck wheels, you can go check out Custom Offsets. But that is the SEMA review booth for MV4s. Drop a comment below on which one you think is the favorite, and of course, if you're interested in picking up some of these, head out to fitmentindustries.com. We have wheels, tires, suspension, airlift, AccuAir, all of it. You know, that's just how it is. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you later. Peace.